Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Even Stevens. This is a series where I just kind of talk. We interact one on one. No pressure for heavy editing or complicated bull crap or like sponsorships or anything. It's just you and me. We talk, we can communicate, and hopefully have a good time, kind of relax together, having a level headed conversation, which Lord knows we all need right now. So today, I wanted to talk about something for which I am very, very excited for, and I'm sure many of you are excited for it as well. And that is the recent news that just came out that we are going to actually get a look at the future of gaming very, very soon. In fact, on June 4th. I actually talked about this in a video I made last week before this was announced, actually. I know a lot of other people have been throwing around the date, but it's because obviously it ended up being true. And that is that we're going to see a showcase. They're going to be showing off games for the PlayStation 5 at 1 p.m. Pacific time, Thursday, June 4th. And there's going to be a lot of stuff shown off. There's this little letter that Jim Ryan wrote. He's the guy that ended up replacing Sean Layden. Not his position, but he put him out of a job effectively. Booted him out. It was his time to go, I suppose. And it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time. Now, last week's Even Stevens was entirely designed and meant to offer comfort to people who felt very pessimistic, who felt as though there was no reason to be excited for the next gen, or that there was little reason to be excited. There weren't a lot of crazy games. The stuff that's been shown off is pretty underwhelming. And I think those are all fair reactions to have, because to a certain extent, this next generation is not going to be as gigantic a leap forward as I think people might be expecting. It's going to be a leap, it's going to be a jump, but it's not going to be the ground shaking leap that it was back in the early 2000s or even 90s when we were getting new generations of consoles. So it's going to be impressive, but it's going to be in a lot of other fields. It's going to be in the realm of AI, something that I think is not talked about enough. That's really where I think the future of gaming is: properly designed and intelligent artificial intelligence. You have to do that very, very well. And I think that that's something they're working very heavily on, especially with cloud computing. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff done with that we probably won't see for a few years, but nonetheless, it'll happen. But as for the PlayStation 5 specifically, they've remained very mum on all of this. They haven't really shown off anything. They showed off the controller, but I mean, that's about it. They showed off a tech demo. They showed off some hardware specifications in that weird, like, 3-hour presentation where they just kind of talked about hardware, which was cool for techies, but I think it was pretty underwhelming for a lot of other people. But all of this has built to this moment. All of this has been coming to this pinnacle, this hilltop that we're about to crest over. And there's a reason they've taken time to prep everything, and that's because gamers have certain expectations. And as we've learned from Xbox's recent presentations where they showed off gameplay of next-gen titles, it's important to take your time. I mean, again, what people don't know can't hurt them. If they didn't know that you were planning on giving like a presentation or showing a trailer for one of your big studios, they don't need to know that. And as long as you bring them that trailer in its best form a month later, they're still going to be happy. But if you show them it when it's not ready, when it's not prepared, when it's not even gameplay, people are going to be underwhelmed. People are even going to be upset because they will feel lied to. So the fact Sony's taken their time, I think, is a good thing. And it's all coming to June 4th. Now, from my understanding, we're going to get roughly about an hour. A good chunk, a very healthy chunk of that is going to be actual looks at games. And these are going to be fairly, I guess you would say, elaborate looks at the games or deep diving looks at the games. It's not just going to be a 30-second teaser for all of them. There will be some trailers like that, mark my words. There will be some studios that are only showing off a very small glimpse, but there will be some trailers that are going to be much more impressive, where they're actually going to take you through and show off a bit of what they can do. Because once again, this generation is not just going to be about visuals. Yes, there will be fantastic visuals shown off, but this generation is about a lot more than that. And I think people are forgetting that fact when they are looking at trailers, when they're looking at screenshots, when they're looking at all of this stuff. They're like, well, no, yeah, I guess it's 8K, but where's the frame rates? Or yeah, it's got 60 frames, but where's the 8K? Like, whatever it may be, there's always something that's going to be missing. The leaps here are going to be in how games are designed from the ground up. Specifically, I mean, if you can have realistic 3D audio calculated in a space, that changes the way you design levels, that changes the way that you design enemy encounters, because realistic sound can now be used to stimulate the player. Not in a weird way, but in a way where you can actually communicate to the player using sound. Whereas on current gen, there's only so much you can do. Sure, you can have a shot that goes off somewhere over there, but that's about it. And you can do a lot more with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Furthermore, the SSDs are going to be the name of the game. It really will be, because those SSDs are going to allow developers to create games from the ground up with basically no load screens at all. There will be no cap on data streaming off of the SSD, at least not for a while, until they create some games that are absolutely ridiculous. But once again, that's something that only developers who really have a vision, a specific vision, will be able to take advantage of. Now, they will have a couple games that are going to showcase what exactly you could do with that, but, you know, we'll see all of that on Thursday. But I think it's easy for all of us to expect just a fancy schmancy trailer with some pretty graphics and then a logo pops and we're all happy. They're going to go into a little more detail than that. So don't expect it to just be like a wham bam, okay, like God of War Part 2 trailer right there, boom, or Chapter 2, or whatever they end up calling this next section. Or they pop up and they say Horizon Zero Dawn 2, Horizon 1 Dawn, like people have been joking about. Right there, boom, sequel coming, okay. After showing like a screenshot of a mountain, or something like the Elder Scrolls 6 trailer where it's just like hilltops, city, ocean, boom, logo. It's not going to be like that. There's going to be actual stuff shown up. They're going to walk the player, or in this case us, through a section to show what they can do, to show what this new console will allow them to do. It very likely won't end up in the game the same way, but they're going to show some stuff off. I just think there's reason to be excited. There's going to be so much cool stuff. And it hurts me that there are people that have a lot of pessimism as far as this is concerned. But I think a lot of that's probably going away within the next few weeks as a lot more of this stuff gets shown off. Yeah, it's a weird time in our world. It's a weird time to be anybody, much less a gamer, but I think that's why gaming is more important now than ever. Gaming, sure, it can divide people. Sure, people get on their Xbox, fandom teams or whatever you call it, and then they got their PlayStation fans and fanboys, and they butt heads, and then there's the PC Master Race gamers coming in, and it's all kind of fun and lighthearted. It's not really a serious a dueling. Sometimes it can get that way, but I think more broadly, it's just fun. It's all fun and games. I guess that's a pun, I guess. But I think there's a lot more to the gaming industry than that. I think this industry is a pretty amazing one, and the fact that it can bring so many people together around stories, around something that we all find fun or enjoyable, around these worlds that don't really exist, but they exist on our screens. They exist in our minds. They exist between us because we all share them in common. It's such an amazing industry. I can't even really, I think, express how passionate I am about it and how amazing this industry is. And I think we need it more than ever right now. I really believe that. And I think a lot of the stuff that's going to be shown off is echoing that same sentiment, and I'm excited, and there's reason you should be excited too, because there's going to be some pretty cool stuff. And I don't want to come off just as purely PlayStation fanboy or just Xbox fanboy or PC gamer fanboy. I have it all. I do. And I thank you guys for making that possible, because back when the last generation of consoles was launching, I was like a sophomore in high school. I couldn't have fathomed affording one AAA game like a quarter or every 6 months. Like, that was beyond my scope. And now it's my job. Like, it's so crazy. And I have you guys to thank for it. It's wild, and it's literally a dream come true. And I owe it to you guys. And that's why I try to give back. I try to do as much as I reasonably can. We've done giveaways. We gave away a copy of Animal Crossing. I'm setting up to give away copies of some other games that will be coming very shortly. I was going to give away a copy of The Last of Us Part 2, but I mean, you know. you know. But I think that this industry is pretty fantastic, and I'm very thankful for all of you. I know what this community can do when we all kind of stick together and we get over the bull crap of partisanship. We get over the bull crap of like, no, my team PS5, my team Xbox. Like, it's not important. And we're seeing the big developers doubling down on that with cross-play and things like in Warzone. The fact that you can play across platforms, that's incredible. That's amazing. And that's something that is going to become even more ubiquitous across the industry, which I think is a very good thing. The only reason that I'm stressing the excitement for PlayStation 5 and all of those reveals that are coming on Thursday is because they are the ones that have been working for a long time, knowing the hardware they're going to have for PS5, knowing that they have to create exclusive games and they are only developing for this hardware, so they don't have to wait to see what the Series X is like. They don't have to wait for any of that. It gives them a jump on showing off some of the special features and abilities of this new console. And that's why I think Thursday will give us an incredibly clear glimpse at what the future holds. And as we saw in 2013, the stuff they were showing off in 2013 for the PS4 and Xbox One was nowhere close to where we ended up at the end of the generation, where we ended up with games such as The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, or any of the Forza games, which are unbelievably lifelike in what they're able to present, or Red Dead Redemption 2, any of those games that are just stunning to look at, to play, to experience. We couldn't have even really comprehended what that was going to be like at the beginning of that, or I guess what will soon be the past generation. And I can only imagine what we're going to be looking at in 6, 7, 8 years once we reach the end of the Series X and PS5 generation. It's going to be pretty crazy, and I honestly can't wait. There's going to be some really cool stuff, and I can't wait to experience it with all of you and to have a great time while we do it. Now, some housekeeping things to wrap up. I have had an intention to stream a lot more this summer over on Twitch. It's a good time. It's fun to connect with you guys. And that was and hopefully still is the intention. However, the internet provider at this new place where I'm at, where the new studio is, happens to be pretty blah. And because it's Colorado, there is only one real provider to partner with on this at this particular area, and so my upload speeds are capped at some pretty terrible speeds. Even though I'm paying out the katinkas for decent internet, even like business grade internet, not even decent, like business grade internet, they still can't get upload speeds anywhere near what I need for reliable streaming. So I'm digging into it. I've been on the phone. I've called them. I'm trying to sort it out as best I can, find a solution. But that's why streams have been intermittent, because the internet provider is not making it easy whatsoever. But I'm working on that. And as for other things, we're working on some big projects. I've partnered with some assistant editors, and they're going to help me start editing videos and working on this stuff to hopefully get more videos out more frequently. I am looking at potentially starting another job to work during the days to kind of bankroll and fund a lot of this, because especially going into the fall, there's going to be a lot of games coming out, a lot of things to produce, a lot of things to cover and to do. And I would love to cover all of it. But as of right now, it's purely a monetary issue. Like if I want to expand this endeavor, I need to hire editors. I need to hire assistant writers. I need to hire lighting technicians for a dedicated studio. Like that's where we take this up a notch. And I would love to do all of that. But the reality is that doing it off of YouTube, even my amazing patrons, it's very tough to find a way to make that financially viable and live a decent existence at the same time. Considering I'm getting married in September, and the next chapter of my life there personally will be taking off, and I've got to be able to provide for a family at that point. And so I just want to have some stuff set up. Now, I don't foresee that job interfering with any of the pursuits here on YouTube, because to be perfectly honest, most of the things that I do, most of the videos I make, my portion of what I and only I can do is fairly small compared to the back end stuff that takes so much time, such as editing the videos, interacting and talking, negotiating with sponsors, and going and uploading everything, getting thumbnails designed, and all of that stuff. That's what takes a ton of time. If I'm able to hire people to edit the videos, to make those thumbnails, to do it all way better than I could ever do it, then it frees me up to cover the stuff and do the stuff I'm passionate about, and to potentially even expand this beyond just making videos on video games. But I don't want to talk too much about that just yet. So I know it sounds kind of scary, like, oh no, Luke's going to get a job and give up on YouTube. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. This is my passion. I love gaming. I love you guys. And I'm not going to just quit because my schedule becomes busy. Up until like 5 minutes ago, I was a full-time college student working full-time at a Best Buy. Like I did that for years, and I was fine, thanks to you guys. And so working a job that pays really well and then doing YouTube stuff on the side, if anything, it'll make more opportunities arise, not less. So I think there's some cool stuff and reason to be excited. And I think it's just an exciting time rather, to be a gamer and to be a part of this specific gaming community on this channel. You guys are some of the most unbelievably intelligent, rational people I've interacted with, and I'm just so incredibly blessed to have all of you, truly. So when I say thank you for watching, I love you all more than you could possibly know, I mean it. I really do. I'm not just saying it. It's not just an outro. I mean it. So all of this to say, to wrap up this episode of Even Stevens, I think there's going to be some amazing stuff shown off Thursday. Buckle up. I've seen a couple glimpses. I've heard a few whisperings of what's going to be there. Be excited. Be excited. I'm excited. Be excited. Trust me. Be excited. And as for what the future holds in the next weeks, months, years, I think it's nothing but good stuff. It's nothing but good stuff. And I think it's going to be the same for you as well. But you got to have that optimism. You gotta believe and know that the future is bright, because it is. It is. But if you start looking at it like it's dark, it's going to turn dark. And that's what you got to remember. But thank you for watching, honestly and truly. I love you all more than you could possibly know. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.